After a short chat, Mallory and I step outside to take a stroll at her request. Don't the stars look so pretty tonight, Anime? The sky was indeed quite clear tonight. But the starry sky has never been a sight I've found compelling. It was just like the rest of the world, after all. Colorless. Everyone looks up at the same sky, don't they? Even if we look at the same thing, we see different sights. Oh, that wasn't Mallory saying, that was her. So I was about to say, this game's quoting me out. We all live the same earth and look at the same sky. Well, his way would be Mewtwo gonna come down and wreck everybody. I pull my gaze back down to the earth. That's right, I haven't forgotten the promise I made to you. Well, that's good, because I forgot it. This beautiful sky I see, I want to show it to you. I want to look up at that sky together, today, tomorrow, and the day after. I'll make that wish come true. So please, Anime, don't stop looking up. A familiar warmth. Mallory's hand. It takes my chin and lifts my gaze to the heavens. A world full of color. Reflected in Mallory's eyes was a world different from what I saw. One that's always been out of reach. Through living by her side, I had hoped to make that vision mine. But maybe it's already happened. Maybe color has slowly been seeping into my world ever since that day 15 years ago. Mallory, what a cute kitty! Mallory breaks into a jog of all of a sudden to catch up to a wandering cat we happen across. Ha. No matter how many times I tell you, it seems you won't break this habit. This habit of chasing random stray cats? I guess this would explain a lot, because there was a bit earlier in the game where Anime's son Tristan made a cat appear out of nowhere. Much to my surprise. Mallory was feeding the cat kitchen scraps that she always kept on her person for moments like these. She must smell terrible. She's got rotten food on her at all times. I remember you used to scold me all the time when I did this back then. Of course, food was hardly plentiful enough to be feeding stray animals, so I killed all the other children for it. I know, it's always just been me satisfying my ego. Even if it helps them for the time being, making an animal dependent on others to survive is self-serving. It's the same as wanting to protect something. It's not noble at all. It's greedy and selfish. I feel like Anime should be saying this, not Mallory. I want to protect it. Those words are the cloak a weakling hides behind to seem strong. You've always been like that. A crybaby who easily gets lonely but tries to be strong? Why is that? No, seriously, why was she just saying that? That has not been consistent with Mallory's character at all. I want the people who smiled at me to keep smiling for me. I give pause at Mallory's words. I couldn't see what kind of expression she had, but her silent back seemed somehow different from usual. Anime, remember the garden we used to have back at the orphanage? How we had little parcels of land to care for? The image of a young Mallory singing as she watered her crops revives in my mind at her urging. So they lived in an orphanage that couldn't even, feed them food? But had enough land where the kids could have their own, square footage of, crops to look after? I was getting a little kind of mixed vibes there. It was was she, in a Dickensian orphanage? Or, one of those nice orphanages where everybody's happy? Can't think of an example. Soil quality, water management, and sun exposure. Though I had meticulously accounted for all of those factors, my parcel only ever met middling success. Living things need more than just nourishment to live. Oh god, that was loud. Suddenly the cat recoils and darts off into the night. I was surprised. Mallory was uncannily good with animals. For one, to flee from her was unheard of. That's when I notice her trembling, outstretched hand, the damp ground before her wet from raindrops of a clear night sky. I don't understand. It's peaceful, so very peaceful, yet for some reason, I'm happy, but I'm scared. I'm satisfied with so little, but at the same time I want more. Up where they rock. God, I ruined it. I want these peaceful days to keep going on. It's the same for me. These hands of mine are holding it, the soft warmth that is this peacefulness. Yes, I don't know what to do with it. It was something new to us. In our struggle to survive day to day, we had only been able to look at what was right in front of us. For much of our lives, that was the only way we knew how to live. But that's no longer the case. Human beings are frighteningly adaptable creatures. There are times when we adapt so well, it disassociates us, confounds us. It's strange. I can't stop trembling. I watch on as Mallory lowers her head and hugs her knees. I never imagined happiness would feel this fragile. I'm so terrified of losing it, just the mere thought paralyzes me. Well, I suppose we know why the cat ran away, Miss Sunshine. Mallory goes silent. Then, without warning, she begins to laugh. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! A mirthful laugh, bleeding away the anxiety. That's the second joke I've ever heard you make. Miss Sunshine. Quality jokes. I never knew how much I needed a wisecracking anime in my life. Oh, you're so cute. Boing. Again, the boings. Too much boings. She hops over to me. I guess, maybe boing is. And begins squeezing my cheeks. No, that's me going TCH. Not again. Hey, anime. What? What is it now? Thanks for cheering me up. Leaning in close, she kisses me on the cheek. Ooh, shoot. You're not welcome. Well, that's rude. Are you blushing? I think you're blushing. It's dark. You're imagining things. Baka. My dear anime can't be this cute. Shush you. With a spring in her step, the two of us make our way back home. As I listen to her hum with a bright smile on her face, I gaze up at the sky above. It was a tiny feeling, a little tugging at the corner of my heart, but for a fleeting second, I thought it looked beautiful. I can't see the same world Mallory does. I might never be able to see it, but even then, it's fine. So long as I have her by my side. Well, let me tell you what's gonna go down in flames. She'll see enough color for the both of us. Oh, this is a really kind of sinister looking shot. Thank you for coming today, Miss Lorette. Oh, this is a school teacher. This is named Mr. Narao. I know it'll be a while until Kalia and Tristan leave daycare and formally enter preschool, but there's a lot of logistical things with the new education system that I'd like to get out of the way. It's fine. Tris seems to be enjoying himself anyway. The young school teacher looks back into the classroom where Tris was timidly playing with the other children. Did you bring his sister with you, by the way? My husband was supposed to bring her. Knowing him, though, he's probably conveniently lost. Like, isn't this... Like, I remember back to, like, way early to, like, the first night we streamed this, when Mr. Narao is talking about, like, the map of Socotrine. There's, like, one fucking road. Everything is off of this one road. He's not very fond of paperwork. Haha, I'm not sure I know anyone who is. I'm sure Kalia's just as cute as Tristan, though. Yeah, maybe cut back on that. I look forward to teaching them. Oh, it's a woman. The woman's earnest smile makes me falter. I wasn't good at dealing with people that could be so open-hearted with someone they'd just met. Somehow I understood, though. This woman would be a fine person to leave the little ones with. However, when I open my mouth to voice something to that effect, something cuts me off. For a split second, the world goes deathly quiet. I think I can just let this continue happening. Never mind, no I can't. Man, I can't read that. My body lurches off balance as the ground below violently shakes. Who decided that was a good idea? Stop it. The rumbling blood into my bones as I attempt to weather the storm. After what seems like an eternity, it slowly tapers off. Please stop. Good God. That's just hell on the ice. So here's those flames of collapse. Heat, the crackling of flames. Those are the first things I notice when the assault on my senses subsides. Blinking several times, I confirm my vision is still functioning. Ooh. Oog. Pinned to the ground beneath a mountain of flaming debris, the young schoolteacher groans. There was something odd about the fire. The way it shifted was nauseating. The children. Smoke and panicked voices were leaking from the classroom Triss was in. Shaking off my disorientation, I grab the doorknob and try to force it open, but it doesn't budge. Even when I step back and throw my entire body weight against it, I make no headway. The door was too badly mangled. Well, then it should be easier to open. 2 doors down, storeroom, cack. A fountain of blood spills from her mouth. There's an axe. The unusual fire had spread onto her legs, but she doesn't seem to notice as the flames etch bizarre patterns into her exposed flesh. Her spine must have been utterly crushed if she couldn't feel it. 2 doors down. Do you think... I wonder if the author wanted it to be 3? And it was like, I can't. Heeding her instructions, I dash down the hallway and barge into the storeroom. From each of the classrooms I pass, a certain type of voice that splattered my past was leaking. It was a type of voice I was woefully familiar with. That of human anguish. Clamping down on myself, I kill my thoughts. Right now, Triss's safety was my priority. I didn't need to think about anything else. Snatching an emergency axe up from the corner, I race back to the classroom. Hurry! Even as her own life bleeds away, the trapped woman urges me. Aiming slightly offset of the doorknob, I bring down the axe. The door splits under the impact. I drive my heel into it, causing it to give and separate from its frame at last. Masking my face with my handkerchief, I lower myself into a crawl and enter the smoking room. Several small corpses were spread along the floor near the door, having perished from asphyxiation. Triss, where are you? My muffled shout rings out amidst the din of fire. Braving the searing heat, I push deeper into the room, even as the lack of oxygen and smoke press down on me. A series of barely audible thuds. I pivot to find the little figure lying on the ground. Triss! His leg was trapped under a wooden beam. Rushing over to him, I position the neck of the axe beneath the debris and pry it up so he can pull free. Though he tries to stand, I immediately press the handkerchief to his face and push him low to the ground as I lead him out. Him getting stuck was a stroke of luck. His peers had likely suffocated trying to escape in the smoke, while his entrapment forced him to stay immobilized and low to the ground. Okay, so these... Okay, maybe they wouldn't have known stop, drop, and roll. I mean, they are pretty little. He's pre-K. I'll let this one through the pass. Though he was limping slightly, it was minor compared to how he could have ended up. I mean, you don't really know. It's been like 10 seconds. Can you really guarantee that all those other kids are dead? Not even worth a try? Upon exiting the classroom, I find the injured schoolteacher looking up at me. Her eyes focus weakly on me, but it didn't seem like she had the strength to say anything. Down the hallway, the sound of crashing rings out as the burning ceiling begins to collapse. There was no time. She couldn't be saved. The old me would have left her behind without batting an eyelid. But maybe something had changed in me over the years. Well, I don't know. You just left an entire classroom full of children behind. You've done enough. Kneeling before her, I gently ease her eyes shut. Rest now. Again, couldn't do that for any of the 4-year-old children in that room. A faint smile graces her features as tears squeeze out from beneath her eyelids. Yes, all but one are dead. Rest easy. The least I could do was end her suffering. Oh! You know... Without looking back, I raced down the hall with Triss in one arm and the axe in the other. I fly down the stairs, only to find the door to the first floor shut. Rather than reach for the doorknob, though, I press the back of my hand against the wood. Hot. I instinctively jerk away. This way was no good. Oh good, we're learning stuff about fire safety. Doubling back, I eye a window on the staircase. It was a fair distance off the ground, but it would have to do. Using the knob of the axe to clear away the glass, I wedge the blade into the wood. Then I grip the handle and lean outside. As I do, the head hooks onto the window frame, acting as a fulcrum that swings me back towards the wall. Pictured here. Holding Triss close, I stretch down as far as I can before letting go. Though the maneuver, what a maneuver, shaves off some of the fall, the force of the drop still causes me to sink to my knees. What is this? Well, it's it. What is it? Oh, that's kind of a cool looking image. Let's say I didn't give this game any whatever faint praise I could. I like this image, is kind of cool. But wait a minute, this is the exact same image that there was when she was talking with Mallory the night before. Was she at the school with Mallory the night before? When I look up, an unbelievable sight greets me. Though it was midday, the entire sky had darkened over. An unending din of screams and groans fill the air as patches of the unusual fire sweep through town. What was going on? What was the fire that had suddenly descended from the sky? They were questions that would have to wait. I feel like the game could have started here. So that way we wouldn't already have known about the fire of collapse. And it would be kind of a more interesting jumping off point, as opposed to over 2 hours of balloons and school and silliness. Leading Triss to a spot of relative safety, I kneel down and examine his body. His skin was marred in soot, but he didn't appear to be burned anywhere. He had been lucky to escape unscathed. Triss. But while his body was fine, there was still cause for concern. No answer, no response. Silently he stares off into space as tears roll down his face. It'll be all right, Triss. I wipe the tears and ash away with my handkerchief before procuring a sash from my person. Using it to tie Triss to my back, I stand and set off for home. Along the way, I see many things. A man cursing as he tossed a bucket after bucket onto his blazing house. A child crying out for help unheard by the marked that limped aimlessly through the streets. Also me, I heard him cry out, and I did nothing. A fire that could not be extinguished. A fire that could not be slowed. At some point, it even begins to rain, but the downpour does nothing to stymie the flame's advance. A world turned upside down. A people ravaged by calamity. It was something I did not want to show Triss, something I did not wish for him to see. Triss. Though the rain falling from overhead is cold, every now and then I can feel it. A faintly warm raindrop hitting the back of my neck. Again, this would have been a way better opening because it's far more mysterious and intriguing. And that's how you know it's still going on outside, because it has little colors. It's in the windows. Over here, and there's a little splotch over there. When we make it back home, I find our house untouched by fire. Kalia? Autun? No answer comes. They didn't seem to be home. Though their safety was a concern, searching for them blindly won't accomplish anything. Staying put was the best course of action. Placing... what a weird sound effect. Placing a pot under the faucet, I began stockpiling water. While the plumbing still seemed functional for now, there was no guarantee that it would continue to be the case. Just as I begin taking inventory, the sound of the door being knocked open erupts from the front of the house. I should have recognized who they were immediately, but their appearance was somehow wrong. Autun? I rush to his side as he collapses to the ground, an unmoving Kalia cradled in his arms. His hands were blackened with strange marks from the mysterious flame, while Kalia's hands, were simply no longer there. You remember a few hours ago when we were playing Capture the Flag?